Hello and welcome back to the Shit Show, episode 5. And today we have a very special guest who's currently living in the same apartment as me. We can't see his face, but you will be able to see it in post because he doesn't have a webcam. But I want to introduce Ben here, who's
Hi.
going to be talking about our journey as partners. I always call him a partner, but it makes me sound like a cowboy. I say
Well,
partner.
I'm a cowboy.
Technically, you're
Cowboy.
partners in like two different ways, so I guess it's
Yeah.
right. It's proper.
We're double partners. Well, like extra cowboy. Never mind. Yes, no?
Right? I mean,
Extra
I don't know.
cowboy.
Yeah, we're like double partners.
I would pay to see you both in cowboy hats and like the whole outfit, like Woody and what's
Oh, that would
the
be a waste of money.
What do you mean?
cosplay, man? Cosplays are popular.
I
We
mean,
should-
I can wear leather, but that's just another thing.
No, not like that. No, chill.
I don't know. I'd still pay to see that one too. I don't know, Jackie. You might be onto something.
Really?
Different type of content, but it's still content.
Ben,
Exactly, yeah.
Ben OnlyFans? Maybe?
I'm
Damn.
down.
No?
He could just whisper in French to us, and he could be calling us every name in the book, and we wouldn't care.
Baguette.
Okay. But we were going to talk about a little bit more about our editing journey for people who don't know or might be living under a rock, because I feel like I talk about it every episode. But me and the partner that I always talk about, who's now in this podcast, we edit for content creators. And we've been doing it for
A year and a half.
officially a year and a half, but have experience in editing for 3 years.
I mean, we started, I think, 2 years ago, but we had nothing really serious going on in like the first 6 months.
I think we were like editing I was editing like Fortnite montages.
Yeah, stuff like that, like really, really tiny.
Yeah, it was like
creators and-
small creators and orgs that we were working with, and I think at the time it was just to build up our portfolio.
Yeah, I did your videos for a while
You did actually, yeah,
for
Holy shit.
free.
for free.
Wow.
Well, I get payment on the side.
Yeah.
Do we have an HR
Joseph,
department?
Joseph, you talk like this to Nina all the fucking time.
Snitch.
Yeah, Mister, do you want to see my dick in a
I
group
said that
call?
to everyone though. I said that to everyone. Like
There's like 20 of us in a call, and you're like, "Do you want to see my dick?" And it's like, "The fuck is happening?" To everybody. Shake my head. Anyways,
I'm calling HR. I don't know, man. It's one thing for me to say. It's another for you. Okay. You're an angel, Jackie. I can't think of one sus thing you've ever said.
Oh, God.
I think I'm even worse in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, I'm worse online.
Yeah.
I did say you're worse depending on the people you're around. Though.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, like you'll
Oh,
say
yeah.
some super aggressive stuff when it's like people you're closer with, and then when you're with other people, you still say some sus shit, but it's never as bad.
Yeah,
Like
'cause I
Jackie would
wanna-
never say something sus at work.
No, well, for one, I work with a bunch of 50-year-olds, so I don't think that would be an option for me.
You're pretty much 50.
What the fuck? It's so mean. They joke that I'm a grandmother all the time because I go to bed early and
I felt
Whatever.
that now, Jackie. I felt that.
yeah. Well, you started your job this week. By the way, Joseph started his job this week, so he's gonna
Oh,
get
what-
money.
What are you
I'm dead
doing?
inside. I do construction. I work on crawl spaces and basements.
Nice.
And like they're narrow. They're very narrow. Like one of them I could almost stand up in because I'm so short, but the other one there's parts where like even on my stomach I can't fit into
Oh.
everywhere. But I'm always going to be put, I feel like, on the crap list because I'm tiny and I can fit in
Yeah.
a lot of the tiny shitty
But
places.
isn't that like claustrophobic? Like
Yeah, but I don't
across-
have claustrophobia.
Oh, okay then. Well, yeah, nice
Built
for you.
different.
Would you do that, Ben? Would you go into crawl spaces?
I feel like I could, but at the same time, I feel like I would panic when I'll be there.
I tried to stay clean for like the first 2 hours. Like I didn't want to get covered in mud or anything. And then like 10 seconds in when I was ankle deep in mud, I was like, well, there goes. There goes that.
There goes the streak. It's done.
It's over.
It's
My
over.
stats are ruined.
Yeah. Do I let you lead this podcast? Are you playing host, Joseph?
I can try. I mean, I feel like I could ask enough questions because I don't know a lot about the editing business personally.
Ooh.
But because like obviously I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Like I just like even today I was hearing about like how I have the voice, like the yelling and screaming is good, but like without a good editor, when you put the videos together, like you can be the funniest person on the world, but the video could turn out really, really bad.
It just has to look good, yeah. I think.
So okay, I think I already have like an okay question to ask. I think like so okay, so like you said, you used to edit for free for like smaller creators and smaller orgs to build your portfolio. At
Mhm.
what point do you stop doing that? Do you have enough experience? Like at what point do you stop doing that and start like getting commissions and stuff from it? Like where's the stopping point for the free edits?
I feel like for me, it's depending of the creator itself. Sometimes, like when you ask someone that's a bit bigger, then you're more comfortable asking for more because they can physically pay. But I'm not gonna go after someone so small that I know already he's not gonna be able to pay. So I feel like once you step into like the bigger the person is, the more comfortable I am charging more for it. And also maybe I don't know, after a couple months of strong edits, I feel like you can build a nice portfolio. So you can start charging a little bit and then slowly rise up your price. I feel like that's how I see it.
And so it's like a question of skills as well. As you go along, you kind of gain more skills and you become more of an asset to people. So I think that's when you can tackle the bigger creators or have like I know Premiere like the back of my hand now, but every day I'm still learning new ways to do things. So I think it's always important that certainly if you're an editor that you keep learning, because no matter what, like there's always so much more. Like even
Hmm.
After Effects and stuff, like I would love to try my hand to like really go into it and learn more about it because it's such a useful tool for motion graphics design, and that can open up a whole new audience in terms of like people wanting like stream intros or like whatever the fuck, like all these things. I think, oh shit, I kicked my desk. And locked my shit out. But I think the more skills you gain, the better. But if we're talking like when we first started, like I was doing a lot of the Fortnite montage edits and stuff. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's been so long. And then at one point, I saw people like Ben said that were streamers or that could afford more or that Phil could pay because we were speaking to people who were like under 18 just trying to make a Fortnite montage on occasion and stuff like that, so obviously they didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't want to be like, you got $200 up your bank, like
What's your financial situation?
what's your financial situations, but once you got into talking to people who are like older, have a job or whatever, then you feel more comfortable, I guess, having those types of discussions, and I would feel like less bad about it too. So it's always a question of that, or their size as well, how big they are on a certain platform. Whatever can determine it as well.
All right. So I know that like you've obviously done edit for like friends and stuff. Does it ever get hard to like have to tell them no? Because I know you guys obviously you edit for some larger creators and like, you hang out with some of us like smaller creators. Is it ever like hard to tell your friends like no? Because obviously like you want to edit for the person that's going to pay you over someone that won't because, you have to pay bills and stuff. So is it ever hard to tell your friends no?
I'll let you answer that, Jackie, because I don't handle like
Yeah,
the
I
actual.
handle getting clients more than Ben. I think I'm better. Not I'm better. I think it's my stronger suit, that one. No, I just tell my friends no. I think I'm very blunt person sometimes. So, certainly when it comes to online, I think I hold myself very high. So not saying that I don't like my friends and I'm like, fuck you, deal with it yourself.
Mhm.
But it's like I would rather, like what I did with you, Joseph, is teach you how to do things or teach you how to grow on your own rather than being like, no, I'm not editing for you, fuck you. Well, if I take 2 hours just to teach you something and then you can go on your way and you learn, I mean, you'll gain more value that way. It's like that saying, like the fisherman thing. Like you can teach a fisherman
What
how
is
to
it?
fish. You can ask for fish, but that doesn't mean you'll have one next week. But if you teach a
Yeah, something
fisherman how
like
to
that.
fish, whatever the fuck. Anyways, it's like
You're not
that.
that wise, okay?
Yeah, it's like that whole spectrum, and like Ben just went full time into the content editing too. So I think it's like, sure, if your friends paid, like I don't mind making a video for them at all. Like obviously they become a client at that point. But I do find it's kind of difficult though to separate that client and friendship. So that's why sometimes you don't want to mix business with friends sometimes, because then like if you don't get to them on time, or I don't know, like something happens, it can kind of leave a stain on it. But I say
Yeah.
that, well, Ben's my partner for like 3 years in this. But it's like, don't mix business with pleasure, but like, fucking.
Y'all be fucking. So.
Okay. But yeah.
I think
Um,
like one of the big thing too is that at where I am right now is like I'm editing full time,
Yeah.
and like I do not have the time to edit something for free because I can utilize that time to do something that will actually pay my rent. So it's at some point like I would like to, but I just can't afford to do it. So that's another big
Oh
thing too
yeah.
that I consider.
Time is money. That's all
So
it is.
yeah.
okay, so what goes through your mind when someone says like they can't pay you, but they can pay you in exposure?
Oh,
I
Ben,
can't
do you want to
I
go?
can't pay rent with my exposure. That's not how it works. And it's always like not true because it's like the exposure is like, oh, I'm gonna put you in the description, but like no one reads the description, no one cares, like no one who watches the videos are looking for editors. So it's like it's worth shit.
Mhm.
It's worth shit. I did it because I needed experience, but
The
the
other
whole
E word.
exposure thing it's bullshit. It's really bullshit.
Yeah.
So if it's like say it's like I think Jackie had used this to like if it were like Ludwig who was like, hey, I can give you a lot of exposure, like someone that's on a really really large scale. Does that
Yeah.
kind of change your mind on the exposure thing? Because I know exposure for someone like me is like you might get like a swift one follow, but if it's like someone like it's large and has like a very large reach, and then they have friends that might need editors and stuff, does that kind of change
It really
your how
depends
you
on
do it?
like what type of exposure it is. Because if he says like, "Oh, I'm gonna put you in my description," that's no, because no one's gonna see that. But if it's like, "Do something for me," and I can, whenever someone asks about me to an editor, I will talk about you, or you can. I don't know. There's a certain way to go about it that
Like
I
a
may
reference,
and
yeah.
yeah, that I
Mm.
can sometimes say, "Oh yeah, I'll do it,"
And
but
yeah, I think I would be more inclined if it's like someone that's like Ludwig of his size, and he posts it on Twitter and tags us on Twitter when the video goes live or something like that. Because I know his editors, Polite and Shake, I think, um, they have a decent amount of following on Twitter because they're so involved in that community already. Um, so it's like that exposure works in the end for them, but they also get paid. So it's not just like, the exposure. They both do that full time, and I think they rotate shifts so that he can post every single day, right? So I think it really depends. It's definitely, it has to be someone massive, and I think it would have to be like a one-off video. It can't be like a long-term thing, because for one, then it becomes time versus money. Like,
Mhm.
do I have time for this? But I might not be able to pay my rent for the month.
Yeah.
So it's like it would be best for like a one-off video or something, and then, but no. I'm not a huge fan of like the exposure word much.
and
Anytime I've
it's
ever joked about it, you say you hate the E word.
E word, yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that you can only find in like the online editing culture because I've been working for like TV shows and for private companies for like 2 years, and I've never seen like the exposure thing coming up in like other types of area. I've
No,
never heard of that. Like
I
it's
think
Yeah, so
only in like the social media, YouTube, Twitch type stuff.
yeah, like when I see people talk about it, because they do the same type of deal with designers, is it's like it's how is it? It feels kind of almost like if it's like people are trying to take advantage of newer editors or like editors like
Oh,
yeah, I
for
guess
sure.
newer ones. It's just like yeah, they're new and they're decent and they don't have a large following, so they'll do it for free, so
hmm
to get it out there and stuff. So it almost feels like they're taking advantage of them.
at the same
I would
time,
say like work for free just to get experience and do it for yourself.
And
That's
references too, because people talk to each other a lot, and that's how we
Mhm.
nailed Cruise too, was through
Mhm.
Deluxe actually. And that's how we managed to be able, fortunately, to work with her. It was because of that.
I was actually gonna ask how you guys went from editing for like smaller creators to Cruise and Deluxe, because obviously they're both very well known. So how'd you guys go from baby size people to big size people?
Baby size to big size. Um, Baby size. We were editing for, and I think we had set up our website at the time too. So we're using that as our portfolio mainly. And then a friend of mine tagged me in Deluxe's post, and they were looking for an editor, and I was like, and I always say this: you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take, even if you don't do it or you don't try. You'll never get it. So just shoot your shot, see what happens, and that's what I did. And then literally that night we had a conversation about becoming their editors, and he liked our stuff, and then suddenly we were working for him at that time. And obviously we started to get to know him. We worked how often were we posting for his channel? I can't even remember.
It was like 1 or twice a week.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think it was a lot. It was back in July 2019, I think, is when we started with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deluxe is very much OG. If you guys don't know Deluxe for, he's very much an OG in the YouTube community. I think he was one of the first big gaming groups that he had with Speedy and Sidearms and all of them. And then obviously his connection, and this is what I say by like people talk to each other all the time. So if you can keep a good reputation, and that's why when I see people, and I had a super long discussion with Ben actually today about this, about like burning bridges and like complaining on Twitter, and like hate, I don't know, the hate stuff that's been happening right now on streamer Twitter, is try not to burn too many bridges, because those bridges can help you grow as well. So Deluxe Crusader was looking for an editor, and they played together, and we've actually seen Crusader in a couple of videos that we were editing for Deluxe. I think it was you, Ben.
Yeah,
Actually,
I've made like 2 or 3 videos that for Deluxe that has Cruise in it. So that's where I knew Cruise.
Yeah,
And
you
then
texted me and you're like, "Oh my god, I like her,"
Yeah.
or whatever. I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, and at some point I went to follow her on Twitter, and then in January she posted a tweet that she was looking for an editor, and I said to Janky like, "Oh, let's shoot our shot because that could be a really good thing." And yeah,
Yeah, and we shot our shot, and then she recognized Deluxe's name, and I think she talked to him too, and then he gave us a reference. Or can't remember what it was, but either way, she liked the stuff that we were doing for Deluxe, and she's like, absolutely, come on board. And we've been working with her ever since. It's going to be 1 year in 2 months, I think. Yeah, in 2
Then
months.
wow.
In February is when we started working with her.
yeah. Well, the first video we sent her was like on the 29th of January. So
Wow.
So it's just a question of, so that's when people are already so quick to hate publicly so strongly on Twitter. I'm like, man, this could be like your connection down the line. Like this one day, this guy could be working for Steer Series, and you would like to have a sponsorship with them, and then you'll remember you for being hateful and shit. It's like
Yeah.
not good, you know. Like you have to be careful how you carry yourself. Absolutely. That's why I shit post online, and then nobody likes me.
You
Equally.
be getting unfollows like every day, man.
Yep. Exactly.
See, I get unfollows for the people I hang out with. Like they might beef over something really dumb and little, and then just because I follow that person, I hold an L.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So when you guys are looking for like more clients, right? Like, do you guys do like a specific style of editing, or is there like, or do you guys like do it all? Like, would you like? I know you aren't like a huge fan of like the kill montages or whatever, because that's what everybody does. Do you guys prefer like funny moment videos? I know you Cruz has been releasing reaction videos and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Is there a specific like way of editing you would prefer?
I personally do everything. What is that face for,
I didn't do
Jackie?
anything. Forgot you can see me.
Like I mean for YouTube I do whatever clients wants me to do. I say I do
Oh, right,
everything
yeah.
because I say do everything because for YouTube I do like all the stream highlight montage, stuff like that. And at work, I edit car videos. So it's like I edit corporate video. I do everything. I literally do everything. And I think it's important to be like a wild card, so like that you can handle whatever someone's throw at you. I think that's really important. And that's one thing that when we went to college, our teachers really
Drilled that in.
drilled that, like, don't just train in one thing, because if you just specialize yourself in one thing, it's like closing doors to yourself. So I always try to stay as much open as possible and to do as much as I can. That's really helpful.
Yeah, because you're competing with a lot of editors, and certainly in the content creation space, I think everybody wants to be a part of that. So you have to remember, same thing with streaming. You're competing with thousands or hundreds or millions of other people. Like, you have to set yourself apart, and you have to be able to be not just a hammer, but the whole toolbox. Like, you got to be able to do everything to nail them.
So, excuse me. Ugh. When is there anything like that you don't like about doing editing? Is there anything like that? If a client were to approach you, let me reword the question. If someone were to approach you and want your services, like, what should they say / do, I guess, to get you to be like interested in working with them? Like, obviously, I know you guys get paid to edit, so money is obviously like a factor at times. But is there ever a time? I think the better way to ask it, sorry, I'm all over the place, is what would like make you not want to work with someone? Is probably a better way to ask it.
Oh, like
If he's like arrogant, and
oh,
like
yeah, I think
snob,
attitude, yeah.
the attitude. For me, it's all about the attitude. I don't give a shit what project you throw at me, as long as you're I don't know, not happy, but what's the word I'm looking for, Jackie? Help me. When someone is respectful and
Yeah.
and wants to work with us
They're
and
optimistic, they're enthusiastic, they're
and is
nice.
not like an arrogant person, I'm gonna be happy. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, because I've shut down people. Obviously not the bigger ones, but that's why I always say, if we do nail this client, for example, like, I give like a 2 months thing, because then you really get to know that person and how you guys interact with them and vice versa. I think it's the chemistry is just as important to, because they're part of, technically you're employing us, right? So it's like a boss employee type of relationship, and you want to have a good relationship with your boss. But if your boss is shitty, then you're like, what the fuck, this sucks. you know, like, because you're going to be working with them almost daily, right? Like, talking, having discussions about videos or whatever that they want, or however they communicate. So I think it's important to have being able to have an open dialogue with your client or whoever it might be, and just being respectful as well to them, because I've worked with people that kind of carried that attitude, and I was like, you know what, and it's not worth it. And I dropped them and moved on to bigger and better things. Like, you don't need to be treated like shit. I get that we work for you, but that doesn't mean you need to treat us like we're dirt beneath your feet, right? We're helping you produce content for your channel, for a part of your team.
So I know, so did both of you go to school to edit, or did you go to school for just different types of media things?
We met in school.
We
Aw.
we both have a college degree in television production.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't entirely editing. It was like the whole TV business, and like I'm talking like broadcasting TV.
Yeah, the
That's
big
what we
channels.
like,
yeah.
not film school. It was TV broadcasting. that
Ugh,
we went
film
to.
school.
Yeah. So that's where we met.
Simp. We actually
And,
hated each other in the beginning.
Yeah. At first, I
Really?
thought Jackie was like a huge slut.
And I called him a snob because he almost came to disco with his book.
Well, because I was so much older and more mature than you guys.
So much
It was,
older and
don't do
mature.
this.
Wear my tie to school and my dress shirt.
I did
There's nothing
not
wrong
wear
with
a
that.
tie. Shut up. I did not wear a tie. Well,
And how did
because
you guys decide you didn't hate each other?
we fucked.
No, you can't say. No, there was stuff before that.
But the reason I said I was way more mature is because where she's from in a different province, they go straight from high school to college. While in
Right,
the
yeah.
province I'm from, there's like it's not the same thing. And so I did 2 years of college before even going to that college. So I did 2 years of nursing before going to that. So I
Yeah,
had like a
nursing
lot more
ages you.
life experience
Oh yeah.
than these little high schoolers.
Okay. You know, I was just in college to have a good time. And
And
that's all.
you really had a bad time.
I had a
That's the
terrible
whole.
time. I had a terrible time. Yeah, but like I don't like we met. I think we were both dating somebody differently at the time
Mhm.
in the
Whoa,
beginning.
that's us.
Yeah, no, we didn't cheat on them
No,
with
we
each
didn't.
other.
Yeah,
I
no,
got
I figured
cheated
you went.
on that relationship and then broke it off, and then I was like, "Fuck boys, stupid." And then like,
But the reason we got close is because we were like there. We weren't a lot in our program, and
no,
we were like there was only like 5 of us who always wanted to take the big roles when we were doing like production. So like let's say director,
director.
assistant, coordinator, stuff like that. And Jackie and I were always like picking up the big roles. We were always working together. So I guess we were just hanging out more because of schoolwork. And then we just I don't know.
You just like they were like, all right, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
He's fine. But at that time, I don't think I was picking up roles because this was only in the first year, but in like March or February. The second year, I took on a bigger role.
So that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You were lazy in the first year.
Yeah, I was very lazy. I was like, I'm taking this relaxed. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get my life together because I'm graduating next year. It was only a 2-year program, so
I was about to say, because here I think working in like a lot of media areas here is a 4-year degree, but I can't remember because there was a point where I
Yeah.
wanted to go for like mass communications, and then I just realized college is way too expensive, so I gave up on all my hopes
certainly
and
in the
dreams and
States.
settled.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to work on like the news and stuff because I was in the school news in high school, and I love to edit. I edited with what's it called, Final Cut, and then I realized college is expensive, so I gave up and settled.
You're like,
Here I
that's
am.
it.
Yeah.
Asking
That's it.
Jackie how to motion track still.
Well, in Canada, if you want to do anything other than technical stuff, you have to get a uni degree.
Yeah, a university, which is more
Oh.
expensive. I think that would
Yeah.
compare more to United States. But in college,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
more like
not at
labor
all.
work and whatnot. So like we were more into
Like
technical
we were
stuff and
purely doing technical stuff.
so yeah. And then I graduated, and I didn't even become an editor until a little bit later on because I was doing coordinating.
Yeah, me neither.
Because I was coordinating. You did research actually, I think.
Yeah, I did a job of no, I did my internship as a researcher, and
Oh,
then
yeah, you did.
I worked 3 months for a broadcasting center as like a production assistant, which basically means you're like the little shit that just
You're the bitch. You're the
I'm
gopher.
the
We call
bitch.
it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I was the bitch. I did that for 3 months, and then I got a job as a editor/cameraman for a production company.
Yeah, so it wasn't that initially until, yeah, because I did coordinating jobs, so I made sure scheduling. I worked with cast and crew, and I did all these things. I still
mean, you still do that.
Yeah, I still do that. It's like I'm talking like it's super over. And
Yeah,
then
he's
we
like,
got.
please let it end.
How did we even start our business? How did it even come? Was it both a decision? I
I
can't even
can't remember. I genuinely can't remember how it started.
Wow,
We're like,
much
"Ah,
good
this is what we
story.
do." Yeah, we're like, oh, let's.
I mean, I was editing for you, and I think at some point someone may have asked you to edit, and
Yeah, and
you
then it
just
kind of took off that way. Must have been one of the
yeah.
Fortnite boys. Or like,
So,
Yeah.
like your videos now, Jackie, do you edit them or does Ben edit them?
I edit
still?
them. I'm
Wow,
fine.
so it
I'm
wasn't good
comfy.
enough.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's a question of time and money, I think. It's
Come
I
on,
think
let
you would
me be
rather.
dumb.
Even myself, the rule still doesn't apply to me. But I would much rather, I think, edit for myself and learn how to do my own videos than bring it on an editor. Not now, anyways. Same
Yeah,
thing with Harris Heller did the same thing before he got Sam. He was editing his videos for a while by himself, but it's so much easier to communicate with an editor if you know how to edit, because you know what you want.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I'm glad you were teaching me how to edit over me, like, because there was a point where I was gonna ask someone to do it for me, But now, like, I don't have to worry about paying someone.
No.
And if like I want to put out multiple videos, I can because I know what I want. Like, there's still stuff I don't know. But
Hmm.
they're like, I like if I want to do 2 week, I can do 2 week and not have to pay someone for it.
Exactly. I think it
So
becomes easier.
and so with so obviously you both have edited like for like production stuff. How does it differ from content creation like online versus like TV?
Oh my
Oh, it's a
god.
whole other
Everything.
thing. It's like
Yeah.
two different world. For online, it's so much easier. Like there is so much rules that you just don't give a fuck about. Like just in TV, there are certain words you can say, there's certain subject you can talk about, and even like the technical stuff, like your levels of black needs to be this certain amount, your level of white needs to be this certain amount. You cannot sound has to be a specific type
Mm,
of sound.
mm.
Just the actual technical stuff is a lot like trickier, but it's like night and day.
Yeah, I think broadcast is a lot more controlled, where you have to be
Yeah.
very careful about what you do in every step you do. It's very technical. Like I'm working right now. We filmed all our shows over the summer because in Canada it's get cold here, so nobody wants to film during the winter. So everybody does it over the summer and then edits during the winter. So during the winter right now, what we're doing is I'm handling all the post stuff at the moment. So I'm supervising everything to make sure everything goes good. So I'm getting an inside look in terms of planning, but also what needs to get done. And you're also not dealing with high masses of volume of footage that differs. I think it's pretty easy to cut a YouTube video versus a TV show when they come back with like terabytes of footage, basically
Yeah.
a 4K. It's a lot heavier and there's a lot more organizing. Like one of my jobs right now is to organize footage, and that's like its whole process. It's taking like 2 weeks to do. It's just like
And
completely two different
another
worlds.
whole thing with TV is that there's so many like other people's to that the video has to go through, right? So let's say I
Oh my
edit a
god, yeah.
video for Cruz, like she doesn't even tell me like which scene to take anymore. I just go take a random one, I edit it, I make it funny, and I just send it to her. If she likes it, she likes it. There we go, we're done. But with TV, it's like, well, okay, so the producer, no, the client has an ID, goes to a producer. Producer comes up with an ID, asks for a director to applicate that ID, then transfers to the cameraman. The cameraman does then shot something. Then the editor has to consider everything that happened above and make something out of that. And then resend it to the director if it matches with the vision. Then send it to the producer if the producer is happy with that. And then the client has to approve, like, oh, is the client happy? And then is the broadcaster going to be happy with publishing that?
And
There's
this
so
is
many
only with the
steps.
video. There's also the audio that's basically the same thing but in repeat. The mixes have to be well done, and then it's like we have that whole process as well where the mixes have to be well done because we have a completely separate person that does that for my job. I don't think that you guys have an audio guy. Wait, you do have an audio guy.
Well, only for post.
Only for post, yeah. And so it's like a whole different process. Instead, a video and content creating would take max a week if it's like a heavy video, if we were going to do. But because broadcasting has so many layers, I think that it takes like 20 times longer because there's so many people that go through, and then you have to apply their feedback if they're not happy with it, and you have to go back and you have to recut and blah, blah, blah. So just like a whole mess, and that's why TV takes so
Yeah.
much longer to get released because of
And I'll
that.
even say sometimes corporate is even harder. Like I have contracts with a car company that I will not name, and they're really good anyway, but I will not name them. But I have contracts with a car company, and when we do corporate videos for them, it's like, well, okay, we send the version, and then every single department of that car company has to approve the video. So they send it to financial, they send it to sale, they send it to after sale, they send it to customer service, they send it to the CEO, they send it to. So there's like 15 teams of people that has to review the video, and it's so goddamn hard to like control everything and be like, okay, is everyone happy here? Can we send that shit out? Thank you very much. It's like it's with a creator. It's just, do you like it? Yes, no, no. What do you like to change? This and this. Okay, great. Thank
You're
you. It's done.
dealing with one person for most of
Yeah.
the time if they don't have an agent. So it's really like that's
Holy
it.
shit.
There's
Like,
there's so much behind TV that I don't think people realize. I've been working in the business for 3 years, and Ben has been in the business for a while as well. So it's like there's so much that goes into it. Content creating online is just so much easier, just in general.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask which one you guys preferred, but I think I kind of got my answer.
Yeah, TV's kind of weird too.
Well, TV is dying too.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
You
TV
think
is.
so?
Yeah. When was the last time you watched TV, like actual television cable? Yeah, you had to think about it.
I mean,
You have online shows, you have stream stuff, which is something.
yeah, like I watch football and stuff like from their apps, so I don't think
Yeah.
that counts. Probably middle school, and I've been out of
There
high
you
school
go.
for a long time now too. So
Uh,
I'm about to turn 25. So yeah, it's been like 10 years since I sat down and watched TV.
That's why a lot of these
Um,
big corporations are moving now to YouTube to post, because that's where everybody's at right now. Because nobody in our generation watches TV, or barely does. For people who do, bless your hearts. But for the most part,
how do they
people,
with the commercials?
yeah, people don't. Instead, we get ads on YouTube instead
Yeah,
of
like
5-minute long commercials.
I'm really trying to think about it, like, cause like my go-to show right now is Vikings, and the last half of the last season just came out, and it's on like Amazon, but it's on History also. Like you'll see a lot of like shows that are on TV also like post like in sync on another app or whatever. So yeah, I like the more I think about it, the more I can't even remember the last show I watched on TV when I
Mhm.
think about it.
It's
I think I've
dying.
listened to radio more than I have watched TV.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
that's
for
just because,
sure.
like, when I can't get the phone to work in the aux cable, I listen to like the morning shows because those are funny. Wow. Um, sorry, that just messed my head up. I
It's
really didn't
dying.
think about it. It's
Yeah.
been a long time. I can remember the last football game I watched on TV. I watched the Steelers Ravens game when I was in the 7th grade. But damn, I'm all messed up now. Like I really didn't think about that.
And another reason why TV is dying is that now, let's say someone wants to produce a show, so usually you have to pay to be on a certain channel. Like let's say you want a show about fishing, then you have to call a certain channel and ask, okay, how much would it cost me to put on my show on your channel? They would tell you it will cost you 30,000 to get the Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So you're like, okay, so you're paying that 30K cash, but now you have to get like sponsors to pay for your show so you can get your money back. And so you go to different fishing accessories company and you say, okay, here, well, listen to me. I have this show on TV and I could promote your item and it will be on TV. Do you want to invest into this show so you can have an ad on my show to
Mhm.
put on TV? Well, now people can just pay for ad on Facebook and it's way more
Effective.
affordable and you're going to get way more views than just to pay for an ad in a TV show. So now the actual companies do not want to pay to get an ad on a TV because TV doesn't get as much sales as just an ad on Facebook does. So people don't pay for TV shows anymore. So all the funding just doesn't exist anymore. It's
Mhm.
super hard to get funding for a TV show. Super,
Mhm.
super hard.
That's interesting. So I remember like with advertising products and stuff when I was in school, we learned about product placement. I never really thought about like how that like Pepsi or something
Mhm.
being in a movie or a TV show, I mean, would help pay to keep that TV show on air, I guess,
Yeah,
or like
that's
help pay
exactly it.
for it to get its spot. I never really thought about that. I thought it was just like the company would approach the TV show and be like, "Hey, we'll give you this amount of money to put our product on TV,"
Oh,
which I'm sure still happens.
I'm sure
but
there's the bigger guys. I think would bless Game of Thrones in their Starbucks cup.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that. I was really just thinking.
I think that
about
was a mistake on the crew part. I can't believe there's like 50 people on that set. Nobody caught it, but like I
I
don't
know
know.
they edited it out at one point. Like now,
did
like if
because
you go to
someone
watch the
spotted
episode,
it.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how are you not gonna spot it? It's a Starbucks cup.
Yeah, they're like big mugs, and then they're like, "Oh, what's this little dainty cup?"
And like
Instead
it,
of
it, it goes through like at least 3 editors. Like
and the
there's
producers
there's
and the
assist
broadcasters
yeah.
and
Was that during the last season?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, because the last season was shit anyway. It felt like it was rushed and miserable. So
Hmm.
they probably just didn't care. Like, yeah, this sucks anyway. Let's just leave it. I thought it was funny. I thought it made the episode better.
Yeah. But I don't think whoever was the PA on that set probably got a fucking whooping after that when they figured it out. I called
Is that
them
something
up.
that would get you fired, or is that something that would get you like a
Well,
slap
you
on the
can't
wrist?
fire somebody who's already gone. A lot of these people are freelancers, so they would go on
Yeah.
for just that project. But I'm sure they would not get hired again.
But you know for sure that the person who actually made that mistake, like the shoot were done, so they couldn't
It's
just
like a year ago too.
everything was already done, so
Yeah.
you couldn't really fire him just because the show's done. like
So
the show was done filming like a year before the
it
show
went
came
into
out.
post, yeah, and then
Oh.
it was live and everything.
Because editing is actually the longest part in the show productions.
Yeah,
It takes like 3 times as long as just shooting it.
you'll blitz, I think, a Game of Thrones shows in 2-3 months, and then the rest of the year is editing.
really,
Because
Mhm.
for one, Game of Thrones is filmed on multiple locations around the world,
Mhm.
and then you have the whole post stuff as well. So you have the filming, and you have to bring the whole crew, and then build that set and dress it. Then you film on it for like a week or two, then you switch. That's, I think, how they did it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take that long to shoot. Yeah, a few months.
It's just
It's
the
the
dressing and the locations and the like
yeah.
lighting and setting everything up. And
Yeah,
those are
but
big
what
voices.
they would do is they build a certain scene and then they shoot every single scene from that season at one time.
Yeah,
And so
on
you
the
have one location, you shoot everything that's on the
you do
location,
block
and then
shooting.
block shooting it, and you just move away and you forget about it.
You
It's
might.
so weird when you guys say, "Oh, it doesn't take that long to shoot," but it's a couple of months. Like, I guess because like in my mind, when it comes to making stuff, I could sit at my computer and probably poop out a video in like 6 hours, and then you get like people would wait months to get something done. Like that's so weird to me for that to
Mhm.
be considered a short time frame when it comes to like obviously Game of Thrones was a huge show, so so like when the show came out, like the that whole year that they waited for the last season, is that like all of that? Like from start to finish, like shooting and editing, or is that just was that like were they already like shooting it before that year, do you think?
I have no idea, honestly,
It's so
because it
confusing.
depends. I think it depends on their timeline and how quick they are with it. It could be.
Because I know that I'll take for an example like Lord of the Ring, like they shot the 3 movies at once.
Oh yeah, they did.
And
What?
so yeah, they shot the
Surprise!
3 they shot 1, 2, 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure that they did the same thing for Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure they shot like
No, they didn't
the
shoot
2 last,
multiple
but I'm
seasons.
pretty sure certain scenes were shot at the same time
I
from
don't think
maybe
so.
season 7 or 8. I don't know. I don't know about it. But I know it's a practice to shoot multiple films at the same time of like a series. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same
It
thing for Game of Thrones.
depends if they have funding or not. If you're talking about a new show, they probably did not. But
No,
Game of Thrones, they
for
might.
sure they had the funding for it. After the
Depends.
first season, oh, they sure had the funding. HBO went fucking billions after that show.
Give me
I
the
can't
money.
even remember how many seasons it was.
It was
8.
8.
I just remember binge watching it once. I didn't understand the disappointment with like how heavily people were disappointed with the last season, but I didn't have to wait a year for it. It had already been done, and I already knew how it ended because I googled it in high school to spoil it for other people.
You
So,
asshole.
bro, I hated people. Okay, I hated them so much. And so when it comes to like content creation editing, what do you like when you're putting out a video? What do you think's more important, audio or video?
Audio. I think audio.
Really?
Would you agree,
What makes
Ben?
Well,
If your audio shit, nobody's gonna watch.
yeah.
I mean, like,
that's
if your
yeah,
mic
for sure,
shit, yeah.
for sure, yeah, for sure, audio. I would say audio too.
But if your video shit, but your audio's good, you can look at all the fucking re-uploaded memes that look like fucking 2-bit,
Yeah,
and then people still watch them and find them funny.
yeah, for sure, audio
Yeah.
for sure.
I think audio.
so if like if a content creator were want to invest in
Jeez.
something, sorry, when I said I've been sick, I wasn't joking. So if a content creator were to want to invest in something, should they would obviously want to invest in like a microphone first, and then Like obviously you have to have a computer that can do stuff, but like a camera and stuff second.
They should invest
Oh,
in
for
themselves
sure.
and being entertaining first.
Jackie?
But if you're talking purely technical, like
Yeah,
just
audio.
purely
technically.
technical, it's just mic, a
Yeah,
good mic.
fuck a camera, get a good mic.
Because so many creators now can be successful without even a camera. Or not even showing
Admiral
their face.
Baru is a good example of that. He doesn't even have a camera. He streams without one. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen his face. The cute panda guy who has the emotes. Admiral Baru. Baru?
I mean, I can
Never
think
heard
of a
of him.
lot of big creators that don't show their face.
Corpse.
Delirious, Speedy,
Swagger
Corpse,
Souls.
Swagger. I love Swagger Souls.
You know?
Fitz didn't for a really long time.
Yeah, and then he had a face reveal, yeah.
Smitty also did not until he hit like 2 million subs, I think. But he blew up like overnight because of Fitz, I think.
No, he blew up before.
Well,
He's
like
a
he got even
Canadian.
bigger. Well, yeah, no, you're right, because he
I
eclipsed
watched him
Fitz
years.
for a while. You're right.
I watched him before Fitz. I remember him.
Yeah, I figured out who Fitz was through Smitty. And at the time, I think Fitz was ahead, and then Smitty like leapfrogged him, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I like Smitty better. The milk bag thing killed me.
I love it. I like both of them. Well, I actually have their Misfits podcast sweatshirt.
The Memphis podcast go hard.
Misfits.
It's my favorite one to listen to.
I feel
Other
like
than this one.
True. If you want to watch anybody else, I think I would suggest Misfits. I just like their scuff content. I think they're really funny. Well, I showed Ben an episode. I think it was a stripper one in Poland.
No, you said you showed me the one from Poland, and you showed me the one with Mia Malkova.
Oh, I showed you the one with Mia Malkova?
Yeah.
That was from when Swagger Souls won Lover Host, right?
No, this is their podcast where they interviewed
Yeah, like
Mia
she
Malkova.
came on after that though. I think after he had won it, and that's like where the relationship comes from.
Yeah, I think it's I think it was that one. I think they're so entertaining, and I think the Poland podcast is my favorite podcast of all time. If I had to suggest one episode, it'd be that one for anybody to go listen to. It's a little bit longer. But like I was crying laughing. I think we listened to it on the way to Quebec City.
Toronto when I was getting tattooed.
Oh, it was Toronto? I thought it was Quebec City. Oh shit.
No, Toronto.
It's so funny. I think I cried.
They get away with murder on that show though. They say some of the like most over the line stuff and they just get away with it, and I'm just like, how?
Because it's their audience. And that's what I always say is that like it always depends on what kind of audience you build. So if you took a Jenna Marbles audience and you shoved it onto a Misfits podcast, they'd fucking lose their shit, and vice versa. So it really depends. Like Jenna and I like both of them. I love Jenna Marbles, lovely lady, very very. I hope she comes back one day. I'm really addicted to her. And like, I was listening for a very long time to Jenna Julian podcast when I was doing my workouts, but it's like it always depends on your audience and who you listen to. So you expect people like Swagger Souls and Fitz to drop some sus shit, but you don't expect somebody else to do it. So when they do it, you're like, oh, the whole internet freaks out because it's not PC, right? So it always depends on your audience and whatnot. So yeah, I think it always depends.
And so when you guys talked about, well, like we had touched on the whole people can be popular without cameras, then how does it make you feel when you see like small creator, like streamer Twitter, they get like people get up in arms about the no webcam thing because it's like,
they do.
It's not as entertaining. Yeah, like I've seen it tons of times. At least like back when I first got into streamer Twitter, I saw people get upset all the time about how if someone doesn't have a webcam, they don't really feel like a connection with them, so they don't really like to watch. I mean, that could be a small minority of creators, but I know that's what made me get a nice webcam, or like a nicer webcam to stream with, because I was scared. I didn't know what I was doing. So how like, yeah, I guess how do you feel about people saying that they can't watch streams without webcams?
Your baby, no. Your pussy.
Your baby.
Your baby. You don't like your little webcam. You can't do facial expressions. I don't care. To be honest, I think people all have their preferences on who they like to watch and who doesn't. I like watching Swagger Souls, who obviously doesn't have a face cam, but I also like Ludwig, who's all about it, So it's not like, I think it's a question of if you're entertaining. So
Yeah, it's
maybe
more
the
like
people like who don't have a webcam don't say shit, so it's just the game noise in the background. I don't know.
Minecraft ASMR. Like the
Exactly.
village is just going, huh.
Exactly. Really
And you know
depends.
what? That's where a good editor can come in. Though, like if you don't have the webcam and you can't make facial expressions, when you put the
Like
text
Dream?
on and it pops.
Dream's the biggest one, and I don't think he has a webcam.
no, he doesn't.
No
And
one's ever
he's
seen his
pulling
face. I don't think.
views.
40,
I think, like-
no, 30?
Like every
Million?
video I've ever seen him release, though, like recently after, like obviously everyone knows who he is now. It'll get like millions within like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like
and,
the whole Hunter
every
versus
single
whatever.
of his video has like 30 million views, and it's like an hour plus long. It's insane.
Yeah,
That
and
watch
like
time.
Insane.
people are so invested in him that like I'm not even huge into Minecraft, but I just like Dream and his crew, and I will watch them all the way through just because he's that entertaining to me.
Mhm.
Yep. I think that I think it's a question of preference. If you don't like watching people with webcams, don't. But obviously, 30 million people do like watching people without webcams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the face and whatnot. So I think it really depends. If you don't find that type of connection, I mean, not every streamer is gonna give a fuck about you in their chat either. So it's not like if you're looking at the big guys, they're not gonna really notice you until you make an impact on their community. But other than that, if you're looking to make a connection, look for streamers that are very chat orientated. So I think it's just a question of preference and what people like to watch.
If you don't have my sub badge next to your name, please don't talk to me.
Please don't talk to me. If you have
And
not
it better
given
be
me
a paid sub.
$5,
It better not be gifted. All right, it better be paid.
you have an hour of your time, but you don't have $5 to donate to me. Anybody remember that video? the girl.
Wait, was the girl? She was sitting on the floor complaining
no.
or whatever.
Well, she was
It
sitting
was
on,
the floor.
she was just sitting on her
Or
chair, and she
on
was
her chair.
complaining.
Oh, yeah, because the camera was
Fucking
like up or
women
whatever.
always complaining. God.
Yo, Jackie said that, not the men. Jackie said
I
that,
can-
not the men.
The
Clip it, fucking clip it.
She fucking that better be like, I better see that all over Twitter. We're gonna get her, boys. We finally got her.
Fuck women.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Literally.
we got him.
The Joe and Jack podcast is finally happening. I'm finally gonna get what I want.
Or like the Joe and Ben podcast. I'm gonna get canceled. I have to leave.
I'm surprised you
canceled.
haven't been canceled, honestly.
I mean, I haven't said anything terrible that would get me canceled.
don't
I've just
know,
said some
man.
sus shit. That's all.
Let me leak our DMs really quick. What is this about hating bald people?
Okay.
Bruh.
We just shaved Ben's head too.
Fuck.
Remember that thing about her hating you when you first met? It's all back.
It's all
Oh,
back.
Every single bit of it. She's like, yeah, get out of my house.
But he's.
Go edit from your
I have
car.
told him he looks very attractive with a shaved head, though. I like buzz cuts.
Well, look at you coming up. So did you not like him before with his hair?
No.
That's exactly it.
I've been dating him for 4 years. It's a question of I
Yeah,
don't
but
like him.
like, is there a reason? That's why you go to
Haircut
bed
isn't
so
it?
early, so you don't have to see him.
That's why. Oh my God, you're so
all-
right.
It all makes so
I
much sense.
literally
It all
try
makes
and
sense.
go to bed at the same time as you so that we can listen to TikToks together.
Bro, she cannot fall asleep if I'm not there. It's pathetic.
Okay, what the fuck? I'm,
You
gonna
got
roast.
your ass, dude.
I'm a strong, independent woman. I do not
No,
get
you're
this
not.
slain.
Oh my gosh.
I'm eating him.
I'm never gonna be able to unsee like Ben's doing something and Jackie's just laying there in bed, sitting there waiting, like just looking at her phone. Every time she hears him walk by, she's like,
That's
He just
exactly
keeps-
it.
No, I don't do that.
Oh my God, yes you do.
No, I don't.
Oh my god, let's go! I knew you were a baby on the
She
inside. I
she
knew
walks
it.
down the hallway half naked, asking me like, Ben, can you come to bed? I'm like, no, I have to work, and she's like, no.
She's like, no. What the fuck? I'm not a pussy. What the hell is this?
I don't know. I don't know. That's how, like now it all suddenly makes sense though. Like how like when he does something for you, you gush over it. Like when you text me or you'll post about it on Twitter sometimes. It makes sense that you're kind of a little baby.
I'm ending the podcast. I'm not tired of this fucking shit.
This was your biggest mistake, putting two people that have a grudge out against you. You didn't know, but we've been preparing to take you down for months.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a coup.
Mm.
Your career's over.
The takeover.
I mean, we could
It's
just chat
over.
about both of you
A
now.
few days ago, what do you like stayed
No,
up?
this is no.
You
We're
stayed up
done.
for like,
We're
at
literally.
like 1 a.m. just because I
listening
was
to
working.
TikToks.
No, shut the fuck up.
It was
Can we get back to a question about editing?
Okay.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, all right. So obviously Ben's full time at home, and you edit at home for creators and stuff when you're not at work.
Yeah.
Is it ever weird like working from home, like mainly for Ben, like you don't really have that work home
I
life
love it
separation anymore.
Oh, he
because I
loves
hate
it.
people generally, and
Okay.
That's
okay,
why he doesn't go to bed on time.
I'm very introvert,
Yes, you are.
so I very much enjoy working from home, but I do work uh, 2 days a week at a production company, so I can see some people and I can see some friends. So that's cool. But I love working from home. It's like the when I chose my career path, I was like, okay, I wanted to do something that I was happy with. So I was like, what is like my top 10 list of things that I want in life? And the number one thing I wanted in life was,
Bitches.
and then cocaine, and
Okay.
then
Well,
and the third thing was I want to wake up every day whenever the fuck I want. And so I decided to go full out with that mentality, and now I work my dream. I wake up whenever the fuck I want. I get up, I do 10 steps, and I'm at work. It's amazing. I love it.
that's respectable.
I have to get up and go to work. Enjoy
I
my
know. Well, I
headphones.
know you want to be full time by
Yes, I
next year.
do.
What made like wanting to edit like full time? What made that like your dream? What made you to think one day, hey, I want to do that for a living?
I also hate people.
You host a podcast where we
Literally,
bring people
my job
in like
is like
weekly.
talking to people. No, I'm like I would put myself as an ambivert. I like my alone time, but I also like hanging out with people when I'm refueled and I'm good to go. I think I'm not
Like I
an
would like
introvert all the
the
time.
thing is, Jackie, you have a lot of friends. Even if they're online friends, you have a
They're
lot
not
of
real
people.
friends.
No, but you have a lot of friends versus I do not have friends. So like that's the whole thing too. I don't have friends and I'm not
What am I?
craving for them either. Yeah,
I'm
you're my
not
fucking
cra-
girlfriend.
Okay.
You don't count. You're not a real friend. You have to be his friend.
Girlfriend.
So
You
like
have to be his friend.
I mean like I feel like Jackie, that's just my opinion. I feel like Jackie would find it harder because I remember beginning of a quarantine when she got pulled
Oh
out of
yeah.
work and you were working from home, you were dying.
But I also didn't like my job at the time.
You were straight dying.
Yeah. But I don't think I would hate it because when I come back from work, if I hated it, I wouldn't jump on the computer and do this either. I think I very much enjoy what I do.
Oh, for sure.
I think I would need weekend, like a weekend day where I can go out with friends. I think that would help me if I had that balance.
Yeah.
If I could see other people's faces.
I have a good balance too.
Yeah, because you said you do the 2 days a week at the production
Exactly.
company,
I,
so we
wo-
can see people.
You
I,
do,
have a,
yeah.
I have a great balance in my work life.
You do actually. That's not bad. I need to achieve that. I think that's my goal.
I just work too much. That's my only problem.
Yeah, but for people who don't know, Ben's very much a workaholic though. You put in a lot of hours.
But he gets paid well for it because he can do it full time.
Yeah.
So Jackie, like I know you want to do full time editing too, but like if like say by like I don't know like March of next year you're full time editing, how does that affect you with like making your own content? Because I know obviously you make content. You know you do. There's a spider going down my wall.
Oh.
You do a lot of just chatting and stuff like that. Like, do you think like because obviously you don't do like you don't stream and make videos as frequently as other people. Do you think going full time into editing would affect that at all?
I
Or do you
think
think it would be about the same?
I think instead of dumping 40 hours of work week into something that I'm not particularly super passionate about, I could dump those 40 hours into that full-time editing, and then I could take those weeknights and those weekdays to focus on my contents. I think it would push it even further if I scheduled it that way rather than dumping 40 hours, because then I feel like I'm missing those 40 hours chunks a week. And I'm like, I only have weeknights and weekends to make videos for people and myself and stream and do all these things and run the podcast and do all, like, So instead, I can put those 40 hours and shuffle them and put them together. I think that would help a lot
I feel
more.
like the full time job you have is also a lot more draining.
Yeah.
Like you came back from work and you're drained, so you
Friday.
don't have that much energy to put into creating content that you would have if you would be working editing full time.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
just
you would
then,
have a lot more energy to do it.
I think it'd be a lot more entertaining too.
So if you grew enough as an editor to where you were doing it full time, and say you blew up as a creator, and you had to pick one or the other because your time was split, which one would you pick?
Good question. I have no fucking idea.
I know your answer.
Which one do you think I would pick?
You would create.
I think so too. I think
You're a lot less technical than I am.
yeah, I'm
You're
just
a lot
stupid.
more into like the
Oh, that's stupid content.
Yeah, I'm better than you.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I think I would get my editing in through myself at that time. I think
You wouldn't
Yeah,
hire
editing.
Ben to edit for you?
maybe then he would
Maybe.
be putting time into. It wouldn't be a waste of time anymore because you'd be getting paid for it. Maybe, but it's always a question of I would like to learn myself as well. Like I would like to do my own things.
Mm-hmm.
And continue to grow. Because if, content creating is such a roll of the dice, if it fails, then I have something to fall back on. I have a skill that I can use,
Mm-hmm.
So it's always that.
So obviously everybody knows you guys are editors, right? Like everyone, like I know you tweet, like Ben had tweeted about being full time, and you retweeted, so everyone knows that Ben's a full time. And I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but do you guys like when people approach you with a bunch of questions, or would you rather them leave you alone?
In what sense?
Like okay, so let's talk like how you've obviously gotten bothered by a lot of people to have them like you teach them how to edit, because obviously
Yeah.
you've taught me, you've taught other people.
Yeah.
Do you guys like being asked all those questions, or are there just times where you're like, hey, leave me the fuck alone?
I personally love teaching.
Yeah, Ben's a very, very good teacher too.
I really like teaching, so I really do not mind at all. I just need the time to do it.
Yeah, it's just a question of time. That's when people approach me about wanting to learn how to edit, or just me sitting down for an hour with them. I'm like, okay, I can't do it during the week, but do you have a time over the weekend that I can do? Because then that's when I would have time to kind of invest in somebody else for a bit. I think it's being selfless as well. Just like giving back to the people who want to do it. So
Because I remember when you guys did that editing class a while ago in the Discord, it was like me and HGG were there. I think that was the first time I had ever met Ben. He did a pretty good job at explaining quite a bit of it. So I'm not surprised that you enjoy teaching people.
Yeah, I
And
really do. I know I just like to talk about what I love and to show people stuff.
so maybe
And I
they
think
can
if
get
they can
passionate with
gain
it.
something out of it, it makes me feel good. I like it.
That's very
Awesome.
noble.
I think we hit an hour though. There you go. Easy podcast.
The easy my butt, dude. I don't know if you could tell, but I was like, yo, I gotta
you
go.
you were asking great questions. I don't know. You were doing good.
My favorite part was when we attacked you, but
Yeah,
it's just
no.
Yeah,
me.
same.
Cutting that out. Fuck that.
We can do a
Jackie.
part 2 of just attacking Jackie.
Please.
the Jackie
Yo,
roast.
Yeah, at like yo.
I'll bring
that's-
Aries in too. I'll get people in
Yeah,
just to roast
we can
the
just
shit out.
do like an
Areas would-
hour of roasting Jackie. I have a ton of material.
Bro, I'm gonna leave
Can
that.
we do that for her
cry-
birthday?
For
oh,
sure.
my birthday in January. Fuck.
Can we do
Okay.
that for her birthday? That'd
What
be
makes me
sick.
cry?
That'd
Okay.
be sick.
All right. Are we gonna roast a Jackie roast? I guess.
Oh, I have so much potential.
Okay.
He's gonna start writing it down. You're done.
Oh yeah, for
kid.
sure.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody who listened to the podcast and who put in their input and everything. I do appreciate a lot. You can go and check out Ben. I'll leave his Twitter linked below. Thank you all so much.
You can also
again.
leave my OnlyFans links. Too.
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.